Hey everybody, it's Teresa here and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to December Daily 2022 Hybrid Scrapbooking Prep. And so what I wanted to do is share with you some easy ways that I am prepping the Ali Edwards digital kit, the digital main kit for hybrid scrapbooking. And so there are a few things that you can do in preparation for December Daily with digital products if you're a hybrid scrapbooker. And of course, maybe you don't have your photos yet or you don't have your stories yet, but you can go ahead and set up some of your digital files so that they're easy to access. And also you can go ahead and print some things. You can go ahead and cut some things in your Silhouette software and have them ready for yourself when it comes down the road in December. So I'm going to be working in the Silhouette software. I have the Cameo 4. I do use an older version of the Silhouette Studio just because it's what I'm familiar with, and I decided to keep that version. And I also will be using Photoshop. I have the CC version and I'm working on a PC. And so the idea is to go ahead and print and or cut any sort of embellishments or page ideas that you have already that you want to roll with. And also just a quick way that you can set up your digital templates to go ahead and have them ready for your photos and your stories. And so what I'm going to start out with is I'm here in the Silhouette Studio software, and I've already opened up the Ali Edwards puffy stickers. And so these are the puffy stickers that were included in the main digital kit. And I brought them in and sized them down to, they're approximately 8 inches high. And I think that's probably a little bit bigger than what they are in real life. I don't have the puffy stickers in real life to compare to, but my idea here was to make them big enough that you could print and cut them fairly well in your die cutting machine, and they would turn out nice. And the lovely thing about the puffy stickers is that they already have a white border around them, so they're going to print out, they're going to cut with a nice little white border, and you'll have those available to use. So I will show the things that I've printed out. I will show them at the end of the video, so you'll be able to see how they print compared to, well, I can't really compare them to the physical product, but you can see what it looks like once you print them. So one of the things that I liked about the puffy stickers is that it has the fa la la included, and these were also included in the main kit as plastic words. And so what I've done is I chose 2 of those and brought them here into this canvas, the Mary and the Twinkle. And I'm not sure yet if I want to print them on vellum or on transparency. I haven't decided, but they do import really nicely. I've sized them down to about 6 inches right now. I may make them just a little bit smaller, just so they fit well on a 7 by 8 1/4 inch sheet. And then I also brought in the rubber piece, the December, and I plan to print and cut it on the same sheet with Mary and Twinkle. And if there's any other little pieces that will fit on there as well, I'll probably do that before I print this. I haven't decided yet how I'm gonna, what medium I'm gonna put that on. You also, if you want a white border around the Twinkle or around the Mary, you can go into your offset tool, select offset, and it will give you a nice little white border around. I would probably do that if I was printing it on cardstock, and I would probably do like a 0.1 size. That's what the 0.1 size would look like. And that gives you a nice crisp white border around those words. But I don't think that these really need the white border, especially if you're doing transparency or vellum. They'll be really cute because they have that sort of transparency feel to them. The same with the December. And I love that this December word is included in the digital kit, because you can also use that on your templates. You can put that on your photos and use it in a variety of different ways. Okay, so another element that I really loved in the main kit is these vellum tags. And so I really love how they're sort of hand-drawn and they sort of have a more relaxed feel. And I thought it would be fun to do that. There's two ways you could do this. There's lots of different ways, but two ways that I thought of. One is to print this on vellum, and two is to do a 2-page spread and have the frames going across both pages and cut out the centers of the frames and have your photos behind it. And so there's a couple of ways to do that. And first off, I just wanted to clarify, I brought in 4 of these tags in different colors, a light green, a darker green, a sort of lighter red, and a sort of more maroon red. And so right now I've repeated them across the page, and you can sort of see I have this little rectangle here that kind of says that's how big a 7 by 8¼ inch page size is. One of the things that I noticed when I laid them out with the registration marks, I'm going to print and also cut these, and so it needs the registration marks, and they look a little cut off and a little awkward around the edges. So I think what I'm going to do is grab all of them and make them just a little bit bigger. Make sure that you've locked your aspect ratio, and that way they cover the page a little bit better. Specifically these middle 4, that's primarily what I'm interested in. And you may have to tweak things a little bit, but let's see. Oh, that rectangle got bigger with them. Whoops. Okay, let me fix this rectangle so that it truly is 8.25 or as close as possible by 7. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not going to have it cut out there. And then let's see how that looks behind those. Yeah, and so I think that it's just going to be these 8. I think that I won't have it do these. And then I'm going to show you how I set it up to cut so that you can see how that works. Alright, so now I've got it set up. I'm going to print this out twice, and then when you bring these frames into the Silhouette software, you can see that it already has the red line marking the cut marks around, and I'm going to show you. So this is where I actually am going to have the silhouette cut inside these frames. But how I got that is click on the frame itself, and you're going to go to Object and release the compound path, and that will separate out all the different elements. So you'll be able to move that. Now, if you haven't printed this yet, go ahead and print it at this stage. But that will give you that piece that you can delete. That piece you can delete. All these pieces except for this piece. And then you're going to go to the offset tool and you're going to do an internal offset. And I think I have it set at 0.1. Let's see. Yep. No. 0.07. Okay. So I'm going to hit cancel on that. I'm going to undo. But now you know how I got that cut line that's there. See if we can get these back over here. All right. So then you're going to send it through your silhouette. It is going to give you a warning that says, oh, it's set to cut off the edge. Do you want it to cut off the edge? No, you don't want it to cut off the edge. And also at this stage, you can remove that plain rectangle because you don't need it. You don't need it there anymore, and you don't need it to cut those lines. All right. Another thing that I was inspired by is this journal card. So this is a 6x4" journal card, and I brought it into the silhouette, added my registration marks, and positioned it down here in the bottom corner. And then I took my trace tool, traced the whole thing, and it created an outline, the loveliest little outline of these little branches. And so once you print it and put it in your silhouette, it will cut out this white spot here like that, so that you'll have a little frame area. And I thought that would make a nice little flip up in a pocket page. And then you could have your main photo underneath it, and add a title across the bottom here or on the side, and or even around the wreath, like right here would be a cute place for a title, and have a little interactive pocket there for that. All right, let's go into Photoshop and work with some of the digital templates. So I purchased the 10x8 layered templates and the 6x8 layered templates. Since I'm working in a 6x8 album this year, I'm going to work with those. And the first thing that I do whenever I get a pack of digital templates like this is go ahead and open each one of them up and create a JPEG of each of the templates so that you can reference it really easily when you're going into that folder, because these just show up as PSDs when you download them, and it's kind of hard to tell like which one is this. But I really liked this Fa La La one. Let's open up the PSD for this Fa La La. And so remember that the idea is to go ahead and print and cut the things that you can, so that they're readily available for you on the day of. And one of the things that I really love about this is the possibility of printing and cutting the Fa La La, and then go ahead and put it in the album, and then you can add your photo later. You can also add your journaling later. And what I would do is save this. A couple of things that I would do. So first off, unlock your background layer and add another layer, place it underneath everything, and change your canvas size to a full 8.5 by 11. So 8.5 inches by 11. Okay, and then fit that to the screen, and then add another layer with a plain white rectangle that is let's see, the size of our page, so 7 inches by 8.25 inches. Okay. And then let's slide that underneath here. And you'll notice that the size of Allie's template is simply 6 by 8. And so it will look a little different on a 7 by 8.25 inch canvas or rectangle. And so one thing you can do is you can adjust your photo size a little bit so that it goes all the way to the top. And you can slide everything in the template over to the edge so that you get the full coverage. The other thing that you can do is within a little bit of margin here, in your move tool, click on the bottom corner. Layer may transform, that's fine. I don't have Remington noiseless, so it always gives me an error message. But make sure that your aspect ratio is locked. That's this little zipper button right here. And then pull it down so that it covers the entire 8.25 inch canvas. You will lose just a little bit of resolution there, but what I'm thinking is to go ahead and cut that fa la la and leave everything else blank and just attach what I'm going to send to the Silhouette software is just this, and then have it cut a rectangle. So let me go ahead and save this as a separate file, just somewhere else in a different folder. I'm just going to put it underneath all of my December daily digitals for this year. And then we're going to bring it into the Silhouette. So let's go ahead and open that. Here is the 6 by 8 template. Actually, I can't open the PSD. Let's save it as a PNG. It's a good idea to save the PSD so that when I'm ready to add my photo and my journaling, I can drop those in there and print those at the later date. Okay, now that should show up. Let's see. That should show up now as a PNG. Yep, there it is. Okay, and of course it comes in a little bit larger. So let's resize it to 11 inches high. That's not quite right. That's right. We want that 8.25 inches high. Okay. Awesome. And then it already has, it looks like it has the red lines already. No, it doesn't. Okay, so we want to trace this. Let me get it positioned here. Okay, go ahead and trace that. And then move that out of the way. And we're going to adjust this. Actually, let's keep that there for now. And we're going to edit these points. There's a couple of ways that you can do this. You can edit the points, or you can trace within this black line in order to get the white portion of this page included with the print and cut. So I'm just trying to think about which way would be better. But let me show you how we want to edit these points. So let's just grab, not that. Let's grab one of these bottom ones and go ahead and drag that down. And we're going to create a little rectangle. And we can make that flat. There we go. And let's do the same over here. Pull that down. And then we just delete all of these points across here until we get to the far left corner. That's not bad. There. And now you have a pretty decent rectangle. Let's straighten it up a little bit. Make that flat. Nice. I want to delete that point and that point. Bring that in a little bit more so that it's straight. Bring that up a little bit so that it's straight. And then you've got your cut lines for that little fa la la. And then when you go to place your photo behind it, you can just put a full page photo behind it. And that's literally all you're going to print and cut. So go in and add your registration marks just like that. You can print that and cut it with other things. We don't need this anymore once you print it. So go ahead and print that out and then cut it, and you'll have that ready in your album. Let's see if there's another one that I'd like to work with. One is this Joy. I worked with that last year. They're calling it Joy Revisited. So let me go ahead and open that up. And this is another one that's really nice to go ahead and print and cut. So one thing I want to do is use a pattern paper for the alphabets. So let's go in and grab one of the pattern papers from the main kit. Which one? The red looks fun. The black looks fun. I like that one. The green ones look nice too. I think I did that last year though. I used green for the Joy last year. So I'm going to do different. And so I went ahead and opened that up. I'm going to Control A and Control C and then bring that right over top of those letters. And it brought it in pretty well centered, and then I'm going to right click on that layer and select Create Clipping Mask, and now all of your alphabets have that pattern on it. I am going to size it down just a little bit just to make it the same size as the layout itself is, and then that way you can go ahead and have it the same scale as your paper. Now, one thing that I'm noticing is that most of these, well, the ones on the edges are cut off. And so I think what I would do is take the J, the O, and the Y. Well, let's see. The question at this point is how to bring it into the silhouette. And I think, okay, let's add a new layer and tuck that underneath the words and the pattern paper. And go to canvas size and create our 8.5 by 11. Okay. And view that on the screen. Oh, look, it brings everything. You get a little more of your words there, or a little more of those alphabets. Oh. I'm not sure what I did there. Okay, that's fine. I hit the 1 instead of the nudge tool. And notice how when you make the whole all of those letters visible, when you make that canvas larger, all of the letters behind it become visible. I think it's taken from the 10 by 8 template, and that's fine. That gives us the whole, all of those letters, which I kind of like a little bit better. And I'm going to make that pattern paper back the full size. And I'm just going to cut these out the regular size. I'm just going to cut these out the size that they are. So let me save this as a PNG. Again, saving it in a different place. Save it as a PSD. Okay. And then save it as a PNG. Where did the PNG go? File. Save a copy. What am I doing here? Okay. Save as. Oh my gosh, that gave me even less choices. They made some changes in the last update. Alright, I'm not sure where PNG went, so that's fine. We'll save it as a JPEG, and that will work the same. It'll just flatten it and it won't be a transparent background. Alright, and then let's go into the silhouette and open that up. Where are we? Here we are. Okay. And of course it comes in enlarged, so let's lock down the aspect ratio, and the height that we want, I think, is going to be 11 inches. It disappeared off the page, so let's bring it to the 0 and the Y axis. There we go. That's beautiful. And then we can turn on our registration marks and go ahead and print and cut that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and print and cut all of this. I think that's all I'm going to show you today. You sort of get a feel, hopefully, for some of the ways that I've been working with the Ali Edwards digital kit for anticipation of working with it in a hybrid format. And I will take you over to my worktop and let you see how these look once they're printed out and what the plan is for completed the pages once I decide to use them in my album. Okay, so I promised you that I would print and cut everything out and let you have a look at how it turns out. And I want to just say that one of the reasons that I wanted to share this video, and one of the reasons that I wanted to do this with you on camera, is to demonstrate how working with hybrid products and preparing December Daily with hybrid products is a good opportunity to figure out what works and what doesn't before the month of December comes along, because there are some challenges. I won't lie. There are some challenges to printing and cutting and working with digital products versus working with physical products. And you may have an expectation that the silhouette just simply can't fulfill the same way that a physical product can. And so it becomes about learning what those limitations are and adapting the product, but also adapting our expectations and recognizing that hybrid printed product is not the same as physical, and it's not going to look the same as physical. And here's what to do, or here's how to change that expectation, and here's what to do instead. So a couple of things that I learned, because I'm always learning in this process. I've never claimed to be an expert. I've never claimed to know everything about Photoshop or everything about the silhouette. So I'm constantly learning. And one thing is, sometimes the dimensions in the silhouette are not exactly what they represent on the screen. And I'm not sure if that's my user error or whatever, but I thought for sure that I had measured this at 8 inches across or 7 inches across so that it would go across an entire page and the page protector. It doesn't mean it's not usable. It came out to 6 and 1 2/3 or so. Still definitely usable. You could always use a little attacher. You can get those from Citrus Twist. And so put your photo behind it, add your journaling with a clear sticker, and use the little attachers to put it into your album. You could trim it down that little 3/8 of an inch and use it in a page protector. Lots of different ways. One of the other things that I think I would like to see is for this to be a little bit taller, just so that it falls more closely into the rule of thirds. That's not a criticism or anything like that. I think that the reason that it was designed this way was to allow for a large photo behind it, allowing plenty of space for the photo behind it. Another thing that you could do too is to clip pattern paper along this strip and have pattern paper instead of just having blank white space. And then you could, in theory, journal on your photo itself. So definitely some great options with this cut file, and I really love it. I think it's really a cool little thing, and the best part is, here's a page idea done. I did want to show you the printed puffy stickers. These are so cute, and just a reminder that they're not going to look the same as a puffy sticker when you print them out on cardstock. I have printed on like a matte semi-gloss kind of photo paper. And again, I brought in the whole sheet of puffy stickers at 8 inches high, and so that's kind of the sizing. But they turned out really cute. Check out the little fa la la, how cute that is. And of course, I don't have the actual physical puffy stickers to compare to, but the point is not for it to look like an actual puffy sticker. The point is to be able to use it as a digital embellishment and print it out in a way that works for you. Look at the Christmas tree. That one turned out really pretty. I still want to get the digital Christmas trees. I didn't get the physical ones either, but I want to get the digital ones and print those out on vellum and use those at some point. I just haven't done that yet. But these little stars, very usable. And the other thing too, and the part that I love about hybrid, is that you can literally print and cut this sheet of puffy stickers as many times as you want to. Every time you sit down to do a layout with your Allie Edwards product, you can print this out and cut it again and have those to use. You can also manipulate the sizes just a little bit if you wanted something to be a little bit bigger or even a little bit smaller. So those turned out really cute, and I'm excited to have those. I'm going to just keep that little bowl on my desk throughout the month, and when it starts getting low, I'll print it out again and use those over and over again. All right, I'm really excited about this. This is such a great way to use a journal card that has some sort of little element here. Now, you can do this in Photoshop. You can clip your photo to this circle in Photoshop and print out the journal card like that. Use your object selection tool. I don't have a tutorial about that because this is how I decided that I wanted to do it. Because what I want to do is slide the photo into the pocket as a full 4x6 photo, and then have this flip up. And that creates a little bit of space on the back for journaling. You can absolutely add your journaling there, and again, add a little title here, add some little die cuts if you want. The little city sidewalks here, that's pretty, just sitting across there. I think that adding a little gold puffy title there would be really pretty. Let me see what I've got sitting on my desk here. Here, I've got this from Ellie Studio, and so the little magic would be really pretty across there. So definitely loving how that turned out. I'm excited about that. All right, this joy page, I ended up printing it and cutting it twice because I realized the way that I showed it to you on the screen was not a full 8.5 inches high. So I've adjusted that. I went back in. I wanted to just clarify that. Let me see what it turned out to now. Yep. It's a very solid 8.25 inches now. Okay, cool. So I fixed that because I definitely wanted it to take up the whole height and width of the page. And remember how I talked about it, the silhouette would give you an error message because the cuts go outside of the border. You can still print it and cut it in the silhouette. Just when I go to cut it out, that will get chopped off and it'll get severed at that point. That sounds graphic. So there, we're chopping our papers today. So that'll fix that problem. You don't have to worry about it. Just tell it yes, you want to go ahead and cut it, even though it's going off of the edges. And this is the great thing about using 7 by 8.25 inch canvas size or page size on an 8.5 by 11 sheet. It falls just a little bit outside of that margin. You know how the silhouette gives you a little grid right here and right here and right here, and it falls just on that O, but it was enough clearance to cut those O's out. So this is so easy, such an easy page for, let's say, random day 14. You just come in here, print out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 photos, back them, add a little bit of journaling somewhere, and your number, and be done. And that's what makes this so easy and so much fun. So I did want to show you, this is what the 7 by 8 1/4 size looked like, you could still use this. In fact, if you wanted to have space for your journaling on the page, what I would do is I would trim this off at the bottom of the letters, at the bottom and the top of those letters, and then have white space at the bottom and put your journaling there. And so that's definitely still usable. These little frames. So I printed these out on cardstock and cut out the little frames like I had suggested, and I also printed them out on vellum. I'll show you both. Here again, this is where the little margin where it just stops cutting at the edges. But again, once you cut that out, then that will take care of that little problem. And yes, I am stretching my mat at this point. Did you know you could do that? You could use washi tape and glue down your pages when your mat stops being so sticky, quite as sticky. I've also heard you can wash your mat to bring the stickiness back. I haven't tried that, so I don't know. I don't know how that works. But I'm just trying to stretch it and get all the money out of it that I can. So, but look at how cute this is as a double page spread. I should go ahead and trim it out. But I will do that and photograph it. You'll be able to see the still photos. At the end, you'll also be able to see the still photos for all of these on my blog today. So check that out. So that's just a cute little foundation page right there. And again, just the concept, print out 8 photos, slide them in there, add some journaling somewhere, and you're done. You're good to go. You could put anything in these frames too, by the way. You don't have to just put photos. You could put your journaling card. You could put a filler card in there. You could still use some of your 3x4 filler cards. Where is, let me just see, with one of the Paisley Press physical cards. Oh yeah, that would be really pretty with this behind it, right? So, ooh, that's gorgeous. And then put your number there. So definitely some good options for what to do with all of your cute little frames. So let me show you real quick how the vellum looks. And so my idea for this is just to cut it out and put it into the album. You could use this for your day number or for your journaling. You could run it through the printer again with your journaling on it. That would be a really pretty background for the journaling. And then one last thing that I told you I would talk about is the plastic words. So there are a couple of these, and I have a couple of thoughts about this. First off, I did 2 tries with the silhouette on vellum, and for some reason the silhouette doesn't like to register the registration marks when you print on vellum. I'm not sure why that is. I haven't spent a lot of time trying to troubleshoot it. But honestly, what I recommend is this. I recommend just put plain red vellum in your silhouette and just cut it without printing it. The same for this. Just put plain green vellum into your silhouette and cut it. You won't have the lighter green and the darker green, but it doesn't matter. I think that would be a better outcome, because it just really struggled to register, and that meant that it struggled to get the lines just so. And it's really hard to see actually, but it did cut a little bit of the white space on there. It's not a big deal. I'm not going to judge anybody. I wouldn't judge myself if I used this and a little bit of the white shows. It's not really a big deal at all. But I think that if you were really invested in having this look just so, then I would just use plain red vellum, and that would give you a better outcome. It'd probably help you be a little bit happier with, with the finished product. And again, just a reminder that the digital products, when they're printed out, they're not going to function the same as the physical products. This is how the December turned out. And so it did cut off just a little bit of that. I don't think that's really that big of a deal. It kind of makes it look like a shadow on this side. But still a beautiful piece. I did size down the twinkle a little bit. It's like 4.5 inches. Let's see what it actually measures at. Yep, pretty much at 4.5 inches. Just to have a little bit smaller size and to see what that looked like. It looks great. I think it's really cute. And so this was a lot of fun to do, and I hope that it's helpful for you to see how you can prep for December Daily in the hybrid format. And let me know if you have any questions down below, if there's anything that wasn't really clear to you, or if you try some of these ideas and you run into some challenges, just let me know. But I hope you'll also let me know if you like it or not. I love hearing from you, and I'm especially excited just to start going with these album pages. I'm excited about it being December again. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great December and holiday season. See you back here again soon. Bye-bye.